Hello and welcome to Simplified Statistics by Chesta. In today's video, we will discuss about the concept of validity and satisfiability in propositional logic. So let's start. Before discussing validity and satisfiability, let us consider a truth table for the proposition P. So in this table, proposition P can either be true or false. So these are the values for P. Now for negation P, we will just reverse the values. If P is true, then negation P is false. And if P is false, negation P will be true. Next one is P or negation P. In case of OR, we need at least one true, then the result will be true. Then it will result in true. And here also, negation P is true, then P or negation P is true. Next, P and negation P. In case of P and negation P, if both the statements are true, then only the result will be true. Here one is true, one is false, the result will be false. Here also one is false, one is true, then the result will be false. Last one is if P then negation P. And if then is true in three cases, when both the statements are true or both the statements are false, or if first is false, second is true and it will become true, otherwise it will become false. Now in the case of P or negation P, the truth values are always true. So this is known as a tautology where the final result is always true. This is a tautology. In case of P and negation P, here the final results came out to be false. So this is a contradiction, which we have already discussed in the previous video, that what is tautology, contradiction. And if P, then negation P is sometimes false, sometimes true, then this is a contingency. A statement when it is always true, then it is tautology. A statement when it results in always false, then it is a contradiction. And a statement which is sometimes true, sometimes false, then it is a contingency. Now what about validity? A formula or a statement or a proposition is valid if it is a tautology. If a proposition always results in true, then it becomes valid. And what about invalid? A statement which is not always true, then it is said to be invalid. For example, a contradiction is not always true, then it is invalid. A contingency is not always true, so it is also invalid, right? So invalid means it can be a contradiction or it can be a contingency, right? What is satisfiability? If we get at least one true value out of the given combinations, then the statement or proposition is said to be satisfiable. For example, we need at least one combination that is true. For example, in case of P or negation P, at least one true value we have got, so this is satisfiable. In case of P and negation P, there is not even a single true value, so this is unsatisfiable, because here we don't have even a single true value. But for satisfiability, we need at least one of the combination result in true, then it is satisfiable. And in case of if P then Q, at least one of the combinations lead to true value. So this is also satisfiable. In case of validity, we need to check whether the statement is tautology or not. And for satisfiability, we need to check at least one combination of truth values result in true or not. So here are some key points related to the concept of validity and satisfiability. Tautology always results in true. Contradiction always result in false. Contingency sometimes true and sometimes false. Next is validity and satisfiability. A statement is valid when it is a tautology, and a statement will be satisfiable if for at least one combination the result will be true. When a statement is a contradiction, then it will be unsatisfiable. And a statement will be invalid if it is either a contradiction or a contingency. Some important points. Tautology is always satisfiable, but if we say that a statement is satisfiable, then it not always implies that it is tautology. Because in tautology, all the values are true. And in satisfiability, at least one result should be true and other are false or true doesn't matter. If we say tautology is satisfiable, so yes, tautology implies satisfiability because there is at least one case which result in true. But in case of satisfiability, we have some false values also. So these false value will not make it a tautology. And in case of invalid, it does not mean that it always result in false. But if a statement is sometimes true and sometimes false, then also it is invalid. So if a statement is contradiction or contingency, then also it will be invalid. So this was all about today's video. If you liked this video, then do like, share and subscribe our channel. For more videos, stay tuned with Simplified Statistics by Chesta. Thank you for watching.